I don't know if you agree, but like the gambling gods always come back to like,
oh yeah,
bite you.
I don't care about the Spurs. I just have a horrendous addiction to merchandise.
And you're avoiding the obvious here. You peed next to Brad Marchand. Like,
Oh yeah,
and that's got to be the
yeah.
coolest thing. Every guy's dream is to pee next to a player that they love.
Welcome to Gamblin and Ramblin, a weekly show where we react and rant about the weekend in sports betting. I'm Tim Kalinowski. I'm joined by my co-host, Charlie DiSturco. You can follow us both in the Action app, Action YouTube channel, Action Network HQ on TikTok and Twitter. Holy smokes, I crushed that. Charlie, how are we doing?
Hey, it's good to be back with you, Tim. I know you were abroad overseas for that week in London. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm doing well. I was off yesterday, so feeling re-energized. Woke up this morning, went to the gym too. I mean, there's nothing I can't do today.
You already got it working in?
Yeah, it's a move in May, bro. A company's doing a steps challenge, trying to be active. So I'm starting to pick up weights and put them down, as the young kids say.
Before I say London, but like Better Collective Action, we're doing, moving May or whatever. I saw that thing. I'm like, why would I ever want to like be like prompted to exercise?
You and Gifford.
Like, by no means do I want to move and then tell people I moved. I couldn't be less interested. I could be less interested in hearing about you moving.
No, Tim. You gotta. So there's this app we have, right, and it counts your steps. This is my steps for the day so far, 7,100. There are people that they cut the max at 30,000. There's a group of 5 people that do 30,000 a day. I'm doing like 20,000, and like,
dude, like, then they're not.
I'm in like 14th place. If I tell you right now, I have walked since today's May 9th. I have walked 153,000 steps. I'm 13th place.
They should. Whoever's in first place, whoever wins, they should just say, "Congrats, you're fired. You proved that you didn't work."
Yeah. Or take a kneecap to their knee and make them unable to walk. I mean, either or works for me.
Dude, when people are like, "Oh, can you add me to your? Can we share like when we close our rings?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to know when you went for a jog." Like, what? I couldn't be less interested in everybody else's workout habits. I think it's a private thing. Like it's like meditation. Like meditation should not be a competition.
Yeah,
you go blow off steam. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah, well, I'm a competitive man, so I'm trying to get my 20,000 steps in a day. It's been a hell of a week and a half.
Real G's move in silence. Like that's the thing. Like I'm not making videos.
Like your designer or lasagna? Which one?
Oh, because designer.
Which line? ASAP Rocky or Lil Wayne?
Oh, dude, Lil Wayne. Get out of here with ASAP Rocky.
Get out of here with ASAP Rocky. All right, I'm in New York right now, so I'm rocking Rocky.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I could care less.
Transition from now, Tim. I did see. You have Tottenham gear on. Your TikTok had a different Tottenham gear. You were at the game. How much money did you spend? Or I guess don't disclose that. How many items did you buy in London, and how was the trip?
It was a great trip. So my buddies are like Tottenham fans. I couldn't give a shit about soccer. Like I'm not interested at all. But like I mean, I'm a sports guy. I want to be like a sports anthropologist. Like I want to go places. Try to understand why they love their club, why they're absolutely crazy. Like I want to know, like, so they all want like the owner and the GM out. Like they wanted the coach's head earlier this season and they sacked them. Like I love hearing like fans just like bitch about their teams, and Tottenham is great. They're like kind of a laughing stock. They kind of always come up short. I feel like they're like the Toronto Maple Leafs, but my buddies are fans, and so they're like, we have to go over for a match. And it was an awesome time. And it was like, funny thing is, the reason my buddies are Tottenham fans and they got into like watching soccer consistently during COVID, the reason they're Tottenham fans is because they won a 13-1 bet on Tottenham, like either last year before, something like that. They're huge dogs to like either like Man City or Liverpool, whoever, and they had Tottenham plus 1,300. They're like, okay, we're Tottenham fans now.
Hey, but that makes sense, right? Like I become fans of players or like teams by winning bets on them. I think that's how you really do things. If you have
admirable.
Teams, yeah, admirable is the right word. Like I will forever be in debt to like plenty of players just based on like winning awards. Like Sandy Alcantara's like not that good anymore, but man, when he won the Cy Young and all of Action Network was on it, you better believe that like anyone says anything about Sandy Alcantara, I'll be like, well, that man that man's a saint for what he did in the 2022 MLB season.
And same thing, like, well, like people were like, you know, I bought gear. People are gonna be like, now, oh, like I'm gonna be like wearing this on the golf course, and someone's gonna be like, fuck the Spurs. I'm gonna be like, dude, I don't care about the Spurs. I just have a horrendous addiction to merchandise.
Dude, it's so bad. I just bought myself a UConn t-shirt because the UConn won the national championship and I had a future on them. I have so many random teams gear that like everyone, like one day, like I thought you were a Mariners fan. Oh wait, I thought you were a Reds fan. Oh wait, aren't you a Mets fan? Because I have so many random teams merch.
Dude, you think I can walk in to a pro shop and like I'm not kidding you. It'd be hard for me to walk into the Yankees pro shop and not buy something.
Oh man, that's the only thing that that's the only thing that I would refuse to buy. I almost bought an Angels hat because I was going to the Yankees Angels game. I almost bought an Angels hat to wear to the Yankees Angels game. I will say, going off of like the whole like going into the I have this joke, but it's true and it's a horrible addiction. I will show up to a Mets game and I will buy a new Mets gear every time I show up. Every time I can tell you what I bought. Last time I went, I got a Mets sweatshirt. The time before that, I got a Daniel Vogelbach t-shirt. Time before that, I got a Starling Marte jersey. This next time I'm going, I'm getting a Kodai Senga jersey. Like it's what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be pissed at the team for sucking all this year, but I'm still gonna go and I'm gonna buy something because I have a horrible problem with just like wanting more gear.
Yo, I know. The second we walked in the store, I was like, oh boy. And like all my friends are the same way. We're just like throwing, like they give you, like you can put it in like in a bag as you're shopping, just unloading shit in a bag. Just like, and I'm like, I don't even care. I'm about to watch my first ever soccer match, like actually 90 minutes. And I like, you know, I will say the stuff, like they change their kits every year. So a lot of, this is end of the season. So a lot of stuff was actually on sale. And it's like, oh, so like we bought a bunch of stuff, like a ton of stuff, and it was not that pricey. Like this was 60 marked down to 30.
Oh, that's just free money at that point. Then you take the 30 bucks and spend it elsewhere. I mean, like it's 2 beers, like right there. There you go. It's free. You don't even count that. I will say, and you're avoiding the obvious here. You peed next to Brad Marchand. Like,
oh yeah,
and that's gotta be the coolest thing. Every guy's dream is to pee next to a player that they love.
So when we went to the match, we bought like, so again, it's funny, right? Like learning like other teams' cultures. The big thing with like the Premier League right now is like the top 6 clubs, Tottenham being one of them. They've all just become, they call them tourist clubs because everyone from around the country just wants to go visit and, you know, take a couple selfies at the match and, you know, have their Korean chips. Like, you know, they don't care. They're not diehards. So, and I'm part of the problem, but I also can appreciate from being a hardcore sports fan, like the Red Sox or, you know, of the like, oh yeah, the Red Sox have become a tourist club. So I sympathize with these people, but at the same time, I realize I'm part of the problem. We bought like premium club seats, you know, like they weren't even that expensive, but like we sat in the 4th row and it was a great experience. And we turn around and like 5 rows behind us, the entire Boston Bruins. They're only missing like 2 or 3 guys. The entire Boston Bruins were like, oh my God. And it's so funny because like no one there knows who they are. There's people like sitting directly next to like Pasternak, and this guy's like annoyed that like he's like rubbing shoulders with like a taller guy or whatever. Like, I'm like, dude, you're sitting next to Pasternak.
That is hilarious. I don't know how I would be. I feel like it's cool to, like, first off, that you can go out in public and not be recognized at times, because I feel like that's always a negative. But like, did you just like sit next when you're peeing next to Brad Marchand? Did you like, hey, like, what's good, man? Like good season, or like, what did you say? Did you have a conversation, or did you just like look and be like, nice?
So they were like impossible to avoid because they're also in like the underneath club section with us, and there was only, I'd say, like 100 people in that. So like, I mean, and now that means like 1/5 of that is the entire Boston Bruins. So everywhere you went, you basically were running into one of them. So we didn't want to do the whole like picture thing and bother them, because like it's all, you take a picture and you're just gonna like never see them again. We kept seeing them over and over. Like we were just bumping shoulders to them. So at one point I couldn't help it. Like I'm standing in line, like walking into the bathroom with Marchand. I'm like, it's like, oh, are you guys getting recognized around here? And he was like, oh, not really, like here and there. He's like, why? I imagine like you're from Boston or whatever. I'm like, yeah, like I live north of Boston, big Bruins fans. He's like, oh, it's great to hear. He's like, what brought you to Tottenham with this? I'm like, oh, my buddies are fans or whatever. And he's like, I'm like, what about you guys? Was this like a planned thing or whatever? He's like, No, we want to just do a trip, and Pasternak knows a bunch of soccer players overseas, so we're doing a couple games. I'm like, of course Pasternak runs in like in the like popular soccer player circle.
That's hilarious, dude. I think that that's sick though. Like when you just like walk around and don't even like idol or not like idolize, but like just like walk up like, oh my god, can I have a picture? Oh my god, because like that I think is how you handle things. It's like, oh, a big fan, but like keep talking, have a normal conversation. Like you don't need to like get a picture that you see someone that is like famous in public. It's always so.
We played it so cool. Like we were the coolest people at playing. Like and it was like it felt like we had like a little like a dirty secret because we kept like looking over at them and then like they're like the table next to us at halftime, and it's like we're the only ones here who like know who appreciate how big of a deal this is. And like at one point it was tough too because like you watch them on TV every night, so you feel like you know them. One point, like Taylor Hall, like bumped into me, like in the beer line, and I literally was like, "Oh, sorry, Halsey." And I was like, "Oh shit!" He was like, "What?"
See, and he's like, "How do they know me?" That's
no.
Is that the highlight? Is that the highlight of London?
Yeah, probably. I'd say so. I love London. It's a lot like New York, Boston. Oh, that's a tough one. Cleveland's near and dear to my heart. I love Cleveland, but I will say London's great because, dude, these people drink all day. They drink all day and they hack darts all day. And on top of that, they're just as pissed off as like Boston and New Yorkers. Everyone there, like we were out to lunch and these guys come in suits and they're just getting beers and going back to work, and they're just in there bitching, just like, you know, this, that, the company, this. And I was like, I feel at home. I could fit in real nice here.
Oh, man. All right. So maybe I'll have to make the trip out. I have to make the trip eventually to there, Italy. I got to do the hit the motherland and kind of I'll get back to you. I'll report back.
the most negative part of the trip is like my buddies, and you probably can relate to this. My buddies keep trying to get me into soccer. Like I said, I don't really care. So we're sitting there like at a pub. They have a match on. And they're like, "Oh, Tim, like let's bet this match. Like let's bet this." Like trying to get me in by betting the game, throw a little action on it. Makes sense. I've done that to people with like NASCAR. You know, throwing a driver. This should be fun. I don't think I've ever won a soccer bet. It's like every time they make me bet a match, it loses. So I'm like, I'm like, you guys are only making this worse. I sympathize with my friends because they're like, they feel bad. They're like, well, this isn't gonna work. And I'm like, dude, I have to at least. You can just bet and like be like, well, that was fun. You gotta win one.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat where like I feel like every time I tail the bundo on a soccer bet and I try to watch it, I lose, and I'm just like, this is just not fun. Like I don't enjoy soccer, and so like now I'm just getting to the point where it's like, how many times am I gonna bet and just not win, and then just like, well, soccer, I'm gonna give soccer another chance. It's the lowest of the lows. It's like in the NBA range of misery.
When I had I have a buddy who's got into NASCAR through betting on NASCAR, and he always says like his first, you know, 1 or 2 times watching NASCAR, he won his bet. So he's like, there's no other feeling like winning a NASCAR bet. And I'm like, yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, you have to win. Yeah, you have to win off the rip to really get into it, because then once you start winning, you feel like, oh man, like I'm pretty good at this soccer betting thing. But if you start losing, you're like, all right, this is just, I'm watching a sport that's 1-0 for 90 minutes and I'm losing my money. So like, there's just no net positive in this situation.
I basically just paid money to watch this sport I don't like.
Yes. For 90 minutes to see one goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. What are we supposed to talk about next? Are we talking about the NBA? Are we talking about the NHL? What are we doing? You hit your parlay. You hit that crazy parlay.
Yes. Oh, Tim, you left for London, and the day you left, I hit. What was it? 10 for 3.5K. It was one of the. I'd say it was like it was the most wild win of my entire life, because, like I had a 10 for $8,000 parlay before, but this, and even though it's half the amount of money, it hit in the 3rd inning of a baseball game. Like I bet 3 guys at home run: Eric Haas, Javi Baez, and Tommy Pham. Did my research, liked them all for total bases, threw on them for a home run as thought of like a lottery ticket. It's a 1 o'clock game. No other baseball games are on. I'm like, screw it. We're going to have some fun. Threw it. The 1st inning, Eric Haas goes yard. I missed it. We're producing Green Dot Daily, like in the studio at like 1:40. It's like pre-record. And he hits a home run, so I miss it. So in the second, I walk outside. I see Tommy Pham hit a liner down the line, and I'm like, oh, that's foul. he's rounding the bases. I'm like, home run? And then Javi Baez just absolutely nuked one to left field. And it was like the most freeing feeling of just like watching like 1, 2, 3, each inning, home run, home run, home run, bet one, sweat free.
Dude, the best part of the bet is when you say, oh, I did my research. All those guys haven't hit a home. Like, I've hit more home runs this year than those guys.
Yeah, Baez and Haas didn't hit one until that game. And then I think Pham had one or two.
So why would you bet them to hit their first home runs of the year that day?
Hey, there's no better bet than being due, baby. Nah, they crushed left-handed pitching and like they hit for power. So I was like, no one else in the Tigers are gonna hit home runs here, but I think the ball's gonna fly. And like Lucchesi has bad numbers and like Baez swings for the fences. Like that's all he does.
Yeah.
He just doesn't hit a home run.
And you used to work in Detroit, so you're like, no, you know when the ball's flying out. You took one look at
exactly.
that
They moved in the fences in Detroit too. So there's a little tidbit for you. But yeah, it was one of those things that it was just like a gut feeling. I also threw another parlay with Lindor and Marte instead of Pham, and Lindor hit a home run and Marte did not. So if I had not like switched Pham and Marte, I would have won like another $8,000, which would have been arguably the greatest day of my life. Instead it was sweat free. But everyone only okay. The only thing people want to talk about is my parlay win, which is like, okay, cool. Yes, I gained a lot of followers. Yes, like it was a sick bet. But like I don't know if you agree, but like the gambling gods always come back to like,
oh yeah,
fight you. I have had the worst week span of my entire life since that win. And everyone wants me to go on their shows, talk about the big bet, talk about baseball betting, give out picks. And I'm watching and I'm giving out stuff and it's lost. And it is piling up. And like the last week I'm down like 15 units. So I gave away like basically my parlay just like in 1 week. Like, thank God that's there because I was due for negative regression anyway. But it is, I don't know if you agree, but like, yeah, after you hit a big bet, it's like no worse feeling than being like, I know that I'm going to lose like 9 of my next 10.
No, it is so bad. And just like, you just get cleaned out and you're like, well, I never even got to withdraw the money. It was just, Matt Mitchell has a great saying. He said to me, like, if you think like you're a big winner, like if you think that money's real, you're a moron. He's like, that money's not real. It's going to go right back to the book. So he's like, either take it out and spend it, or like, he goes, that money is not real. You have to tell yourself that money's not real. Yeah, no,
man, it was a whirlwind of a week. Like like that. I tell you, I was on cloud 9 for the matter of like 3 hours. And then like, I lost every bet that night and I was like, all right, this is not fun. Then the next day I like was just as bad. And I was like, okay, this is not fun. And then the entire week, I was getting, blowouts in the NHL. The Edmonton blows the doors off of Vegas. The NBA, the National Blowout Association. Lakers blowout, Warriors. I had LeBron 10+ assists at like plus 11.25. And of course, 7 at the half. None the rest of the way because they win by like 40. And I'm like, dude,
that should not be a part of the equation in a playoff game.
It's like, how is there a spread of 3 in the NBA and you're losing by 40 points or 30 points or whatever it is? It's like,
spreads don't matter.
This is why the NBA is the dumbest sport, because like spreads are like the dumbest thing. They don't mean anything in the NBA. I'm watching guys, they give up. Like you could see the Warriors just give up in the third quarter, and I'm watching like bucket, and they're just like hawking threes, and I'm like, well, LeBron's not playing the entire fourth quarter now that they're up 30 because he's like 38 and he's gonna play the next game. I don't know about you, but like that is the worst feeling in the world, is like being on a cold streak and then losing in blowouts, or like you have the right, like McDavid has 2 goals, 3 shots, and you lose over 3.5 because they're up 5-1 and he plays the amount of time that the fourth line Iceman usually plays. it's like I said this the other day. It's like sitting in the batter's box. You're taking a pitch and a ball comes at your head and you duck out of the way and the bat hits the ball goes down the third base line and fair play, and you're like standing there like, what the heck, and you're out and you get thrown out because just by the God's grace the ball hit your bat and went fair. And it's like, what can you do? Like I could walk, like I could have like the biggest hoop like and take a layup, and at this point I'm guaranteed it'll ring around the world and out.
Yeah, that's really tough. I will say NHL has been a killer. It's just, dude, the fucking Leafs, man. This team,
my God.
So like talk about parlays, right? So on Sunday, I'm like again, I know like no one cares about your parlay, but I had Verstappen to win the F1 race, so he won. I mean, he's like literally like even money. It's such a joke. What a joke that is! Don't even get me started there. I have Denny Hamlin to win the NASCAR race. He wins the NASCAR race. That's a great parlay. Devils to beat the Hurricanes. Okay, 3 for 3. Last leg, Leafs over Florida. Goes in overtime. I'm like, do I hedge? Do I hedge? Do I hedge? Didn't hedge. Sucks.
Dude, they are an embarrassment. I'm sorry, but the Maple Leafs are like the biggest joke right now. How do you not win a single game over the last 3? Like, and it's not even like they're not even being outplayed. They just make the worst decisions on the ice, turn it over, and then Florida capitalizes. The game that they were up, was it 3-1 in the first period? And then they immediately turn it over twice in a row, and it's 3-3, and then they lose. Like,
I think there's something to be said, like, especially in the NHL playoffs this year. I've never seen it so bad or so blatant. Teams with pressure on them, like as favorites, and like teams that, you know, need to win, just choking. And you can see them the moment you can watch them get tight and nervous. And I don't know if I'm just like older and notice that more, but I don't know if I've seen it in an NHL playoff. So like in sports, like blatantly, like, oh my God, that team's gagging.
Yeah, the Rangers were up 2-0. They just pooped the bed. The Bruins were up 3-1. They have pooped the bed. Toronto, I mean, they're not even on the same planet as anybody right now. The Devils were at similar spot, down 0-2, and they won by they destroyed the Hurricanes just by 3 shorthanded goals. I don't know. The NHL players, I feel bad for Nick Martin. He's going. That's what I feel worse about. Is like he's going through it right now. And like
it's so terrible.
And it's because, like you said, like these teams are tightening up. The shots are not like connecting as much. It's just like I don't know what it is right now in the NHL, but there's just like something that's just not clicking. And it's like the spots that are usually home run spots in the past are not home run spots. Like teams are just choking. It's the same thing in the NBA.
And then you had the parlay. And then you went cold. You also bet on Seabiscuit, right?
Seabiscuit is dead, unfortunately, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Should we pour one out for him? Because that was I
didn't know he was dead though. You thought he was still alive.
Dude, I don't know how old horses are, bro. I don't do
in the 40s.
Dude, I don't do history. I bet on games. I don't do horses. Like
Heinz told me to ask you about Seabiscuit.
Yeah, because you were talking about whether he was still alive. I'm like, horses.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how long ago Seabiscuit was. I just know that there's a horse named Seabiscuit and he's famous. I don't do horses. Horses are what?
How long did you think horses lived?
Like, I don't know, 30 years maybe. Bro, I don't know. I don't do horses, bro. I don't do animals. I actually
agree. I don't do animals either.
I stick to like if I have an animal, it's a dog, and I don't bet on animals. Like I bet on men and women.
Well, I mean, I will say a great thing about London. I saw like 2 dogs the entire time.
They're not dogs.
Not dog people. It was amazing. Oh my God. It was amazing. It was so great. Our fans are now
learning that Tim hates dogs.
Hate dogs. I mean, I don't want to harm dogs. I'm just not a fan of like people walking their dog and I'm walking on the street and the dog has to stop and sniff me. Like I have no time for that.
What if you're like at a park and a dog comes around?
No, like dude, could not.
Dude, I love if I can see a cute dog, I'm like, damn, like
I think like
dogs.
I think like the 4th circle of hell is like a dog park.
I didn't know the dogs. I mean, sorry, 4th circle of hell. I go to a dog park at Madison Square Park all the time, right by the office. But I didn't know the horses died like that soon, or like I guess that they kill you once you're like done racing. I don't know. I don't want to go down like a whole SeaWorld ethics-based like rant right now. So I say we just talk about me taking a day off and actually not betting on Monday, because that in and of itself is a miracle, and not the fact that Seabiscuit is still not alive to this day. I
accidentally took a day off on Monday after our conversation.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. How was it? Freeing?
It was good. I was just kind of exhausted from like because I was like trying to stay up late to watch the games. I was in London, and I just was like, dude, and the sports needs to just stop for a day for me. I need to like, I need to recoup.
Yeah, I like if you like being on a cold streak, the Mets are awful, and then like the fact that like it was just one NHL game and then 2 NBA games, and I don't really care about the NBA that much. It was like so freeing to like wake up on Monday morning without any bets on my slate. Like I went for a walk, I went to the gym, like I went grocery shopping, I did my laundry. Like these are things that I don't do when I gamble, and I like felt like it was so freeing to just like relax and then like come back at night, make dinner, and then like not have to not sit down and watch sports from like 7 to like 2. Like I played video games. I like it was awesome. I went shopping. I got a new pair of shoes. Like there was something that's to be said about the fact that like you need a reset. I think once in a while, mentally resetting and like taking a day or two off is so key, especially on a cold streak.
Because I mean, you said it, like there's the NHL and NBA games like nightly or winding down. You know, there's only 1 or 2 a night. So like if you don't like something, then it means I have to turn to baseball. And I need an off season before I'm ready to bet baseball. Like it's like, dude, it's just I can't sit there and like see that you took an 8.5 and then I have it at 9 and just be like, let me check every 1,000 book, you know, and this and that. Maybe it moved, maybe it didn't. It's like the action app's great. Like thank God for that. But there's so many MLB games and so many ways to get at them. And I'm literally just like, I have to check to just shop. Like, and thank God for the action app, like I said, because that would be an even worse process. But like, dude, you seen a little break.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was. I watched I think 5 minutes of sports yesterday. Like it was the least amount of sports I've watched in like, I would say like 3 years, to be honest with you.
And I will say this is why too. I'm not a big spring football guy with like the XFL, USFL, like all that. Like I really need to like recover. If there was like imagine if there was an NFL slate like next weekend, I couldn't handle that.
No, my brain would be like mush.
I absolutely could not handle that at all.
No, it's like it's I mean MLB's enough every day. It is so much. But I think that like my new like plan is to like bet and like maybe not watch as many games as I used to and kind of like relax and like take days off from watching sports, because I think that like it's a lot to be gambling every day in and of itself, and I'm sure everyone can relate to the stresses that come with gambling, regardless of if your unit size is $1, $5, $10, $100. You need to relax and take some time to just like take care of yourself, because like at the end of the day, like if you're not in a good spot mentally or like are on a cold streak, like you throwing like 10 bets in is not gonna fix the fact that you're on a cold streak or not okay.
And it's also nice to know that when you take a day off, there is still a full slate of something the next day. It's still going to be, it's not going away.
Yeah, this isn't COVID 2.0. We got a full slate.
I know I say that like they'll never go away, but it's like we actually did see that one time, but still.
Yeah, in the middle of college basketball season, I'm sitting there. My birthday's the next day. I'm like, college hoops, like championships are all happening. And I got to the bar, and then they're like, yeah, there's no games. And I'm like, that was like the day it all ended. So that was fun.
Speaking of it all ended, we hit the buzzer. You guys have to go do Green Dot Daily. That's a wrap for us. Be sure to follow me in the Action app. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to, who cares? At TimmyCal12 on Twitter. Charlie's at Charlie DiSturco.
I don't know if you want to tell me right now.
Yeah, on Twitter. We're not. Yeah, don't follow me in the app right now unless unless you want some more access. But again, we said at the beginning that means you might be due. You do to go back.
Maybe or fade me. Maybe I'm the new fade god.
Yeah. Special thanks, Hutton. Great job producing. Always great to hear you. Go do it, boys. That's a wrap.